because it was found in a thrift store.
Yes.
And they found other coats for other marks that are similar, but not quite as...
But yours is the same.
Mine is the same. But the sweater is different because the old sweater just got too threadbare. And now they have a woman who, I guess I don't know if she knits them or however she makes, whatever material she makes them out of, but she makes them custom, and they're made from like a heavier material. Not heavier like weight, but just a stronger material so that they can withstand all the wear and tear.
It looks like it's been with you all these years.
The sweater does?
No,
the coat. The coat. But I mean, yeah. And I think that other people might have worn it like once or a couple of times. I don't think it. I don't know how much it was in the rotation over the years after I left the show, but the story is kids probably stand up on its own. Yes.
I was wondering, what is it like having revisited your role after quite a few years being on Broadway? Like, what's that like for you?
What's it like to have revisited the role after having done it and then not done it for a long time?
Yeah, you did it in the movie, but there's still some gaps in between.
It was like going home. And sometimes, I don't know if there's a lot of young people too who haven't had this experience as much, but sometimes when you go home, it's traumatic. This was not that. This was the good kind of going home. And it was also cool to see how much all that stuff, all the meat of the show was still in our bones. It was like accessible. It's almost like press a button. Oh, there it is. But in some ways, it's even, I think, gone deeper. So we're older. Hello.
Hi. Britain has been part of your life for a really long time. So what has made you want to keep coming back to it, performing your role?
Yes, what has made me want to keep coming back and keep performing my role? Some of it, honestly, is like timing. When it's come back, it's been like the perfect time. It's like I've gone and done other things that I'm very proud of, certainly, but like when the movie happened, I was doing Little Shop of Horrors, which was a really good experience, and I was happy to keep doing, but then the movie came along, and I was like, wow, that's something I never thought that we would get to do. There was a certain point where there was a possibility, it looked like the window might be there for us to do the movie, maybe, but then it seemed like the window had passed. But then it came back around. I was like, wow, to be given that opportunity, there's so many shows that are turned into movies where not even one person gets to do their role again, let alone 6. So, let alone with a director that I knew personally from having worked with him on Benson Babysitting, and I knew to be a very good person and a really good collaborator. It was just like an ideal situation. And then that was such a fulfilling thing that when the producers called Adam and me up to ask us if we were going to if we would come back to New York to do a limited run there. It was also like the summer, so there weren't a lot of other things happening, and because the movie had been so good, the thought of coming full circle back to New York, back to Broadway, was very appealing. But we still didn't know how that was going to feel, if it was going to be weird, or to do with an entirely new cast. But then it was so good for us and for the show that when the show was closing, I was like, well, what about doing on tour? I was like, well, again, the timing looks good. Knowing that, I had other projects that had happened, but that there was going to be some time, and we could carve out, now we know we can carve out the time, because we knew about this tour actually like in, I think, February or March of last year. So there was plenty of time for us to sort of set our ducks in a row. Because it's a big deal to take this time and leave home for a long time. So it's just, the way it's come back, and to know that we would go on the road with an amazing cast, like the people that we were going to assemble to be with were great people and great in the show. So we just feel very lucky, which we are very lucky. Yes.
You kind of touched on it a little bit, but you basically went from the movie to the stage back and forth, and as we all know, that's a different world, doing theater as opposed to doing the movie. Did you have any difficulties in trying to do the movie a little bit different? Did you have any difficulties in that transition of the two?
She asked, I'll try to capitalize on this for those who can't hear, if there was any difficulty in going back and forth between the film and the theatrical versions. And not really. I mean, it is a different medium, but what is the same is the relationship between the characters and the music and the story, the basic nuts and bolts of the story, even if some of the details are a little, to me sometimes things are clarified in the movie than I saw, but so it's different, but it's also the same. And so it was exciting to get to do those things, and to know also when we were doing the movie that Chris was so open and eager for us to contribute our ideas and thoughts, and to try to, as much as possible, find a way to put something on screen that was connected to the source. Not that it had to be the version that was on stage, but the sort of the reasons for the things that we did. You know, that was at least taken into consideration. So, hello.
Hi. We were kind of debating this the other night, and I was just wondering, do you know if there's a specific reason why Santa Fe was chosen as kind of the ideal destination, or did it just fit nicely with the song?
I honestly don't know. She asked about why Santa Fe was chosen as the place, and I don't know for sure. I mean, have you been to Santa Fe?
No.
It's beautiful. I mean, I was there. I did a little TV thing. There was a show that you're probably too young. Maybe not. It was like the early 2000s. I think that's when I did it. But The Lazarus Man. It was a show on TNT or something like that. But I did an episode, and it was filmed outside Santa Fe, and I was there in December, so it was cold, but not super cold. But it was still so beautiful. It's like just the quality of the light and the air and the scenery. So I think it's just that. I don't know if Jonathan himself ever went there. Santa Fe. There are 3 songs that Jonathan wrote with William Aronson when he was when they were first coming up with the idea for Rent. He and Billy Aronson collaborated on the early days of it, and the 3 songs are I Should Tell You, I might get this wrong now. Santa Fe is one of them. I can't remember the other one, but and so that might have been Billy's idea too. I don't know. It's a good question. I wonder if his family knows. I've asked him.
What's it like getting up on stage in front of all those people?
What's it like getting up on stage in front of all those people?
Yes.
I've been doing it for so long. It feels normal to me. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what that means. That it feels normal. I mean, I first did my first show when I was 6, so I don't know. It's just always been something that came naturally, and I mean, it's exciting. I'm gratified that when we go out on stage, there's a lot of people out there who are eager to see what we have to give. It's kind of a bummer when there's not. When we did the show in London in '98, we did well in London overall, but they scheduled Wednesday matinees. And this is not necessarily a Wednesday matinee show. So we would have, like, on Friday nights, we'd be sold out, and it was like an 1,800 seat theater or something like that. On Wednesday matinees, we had 200 people. And 200 people in an 1,800 seat theater, that feels like 5 people. And it'd be like, out tonight. But then we'd come out of the stage door, and there'd be people that were really excited too. So it's nice when in this case that everywhere we're going, there are a lot of people who are really excited and happy that we're there, and that makes a difference. Yes.
What's it like watching someone else do a role that you consider to be like your creation for such a long time?
What's it like to see other people do Mark? Sometimes I want to hug them and thank them, and sometimes I want to kick them. And sometimes I want to steal things. Honestly, my favorite was probably Neil Patrick Harris. He did a great job. I'm like, I hope that those things are as funny as I do.